Most people throw this away every single day. But for one old gardener, it became the secret to fruits so full, they nearly fell off the vine. Imagine turning something free and ordinary into a natural booster that transforms your garden overnight. While neighbors struggled with tiny, underwhelming harvests, this simple habit made tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers burst with life. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see exactly how you can use this overlooked ingredient to multiply your fruit yield, and it costs almost nothing. They say wisdom grows with age, and so does patience. If you've ever watched an old gardener at work, you'll notice something remarkable. They move slowly, deliberately, almost as if they are listening to the soil itself. They didn't rush for chemicals, fancy fertilizers, or expensive gadgets. They understood something that modern gardening often forgets. Nature has its own rhythm, and the secret to a bountiful harvest isn't forcing it, it's working alongside it. One of their greatest secrets? Microbes. Tiny, invisible workers living in the soil that most of us never see. Yet they quietly feed plants, protect roots, and make nutrients available in ways no bag of synthetic fertilizer ever could. To the untrained eye, the soil might look lifeless, dusty, or ordinary. But in the hands of a gardener who knows the truth, it is a bustling city of life, where bacteria, fungi, and countless microorganisms collaborate to create strong, healthy plants. Think of it this way. When a tomato grows large, juicy, and vibrant, it's not just the sunlight or the water doing the work, it's the soil life feeding it, boosting its immunity, and enhancing its flavor. The old gardener understood this. While others tossed their kitchen scraps or plant waste without a second thought, he saw an opportunity. He knew that what most people call garbage was actually a goldmine for these tiny soil allies. By simply returning organic matter to the earth, he encouraged microbes to multiply and thrive. And in return, those microbes delivered fruits so full, they practically fell off the vine. There's a lesson here, not just for gardening, but for life. Growth often comes quietly, through patience and consistency. The old gardener didn't expect instant miracles. He observed, experimented, and allowed nature to do the heavy lifting. And the results? A garden that seemed almost magical in its abundance, without spending a fortune or risking the harsh chemicals that can harm both plants and soil. Explaining the microbe liquid. Microbes might be invisible to the naked eye, but in your garden, they are the ultimate helpers. These tiny living organisms are like a team of hardworking chefs, breaking down waste, releasing nutrients, and preparing food that plants can absorb directly through their roots. The more alive your soil is with these microorganisms, the more vibrant and productive your garden becomes. Think of it this way. Healthy soil doesn't just hold water and nutrients. It teems with life that actively nurtures your plants from below. When microbes are thriving, your garden seems to flourish almost effortlessly, as if nature itself is lending a helping hand. So, how can you harness this power in your own backyard? Enter the microbe liquid, a simple, natural solution that transforms ordinary kitchen waste into a potent elixir for your plants. The process is surprisingly easy. You start with everyday scraps like rice water, fruit peels, and a small amount of molasses. These materials are packed with nutrients and sugars that microbes love. You mix them with clean water and allow them to ferment for about 1 to 2 weeks. During this time, the microbes multiply, feeding on the scraps and creating a rich, living liquid that can supercharge your soil. This is where the magic happens. Once ready, this liquid can be poured around the base of your plants. Instantly, you're feeding not just the plant, but the entire underground ecosystem. Roots absorb the nutrients more efficiently. Flowers bloom brighter, fruits swell juicier, and vegetables become more robust. Unlike synthetic fertilizers, which feed the plant directly but often harm soil life over time, this microbe-rich liquid strengthens both the plant and the soil, building a garden that thrives year after year. Safety is important. While this method is natural and safe, it's essential to avoid using rotting meat, dairy, or oily waste. These items can attract pests, create foul odors, or even introduce harmful bacteria. Stick to plant-based scraps and molasses, and you'll have a clean, odor-minimized process that works beautifully. Keep the fermentation vessel covered but breathable. in a warm spot away from direct sunlight. A little patience goes a long way. The longer the microbes have to work, the more potent the liquid becomes. Using a microbe liquid is more than a gardening trick. It's a philosophy. It teaches us to value what we might normally discard, to see potential where others see waste, and to work in harmony with the natural processes that sustain life. By embracing this approach, you're not just feeding your plants. You're cultivating a healthier, more vibrant ecosystem in your garden. Within days of applying the liquid, you'll notice your plants standing taller, leaves greener, and fruits heavier. It's proof that when we nurture the unseen helpers beneath the soil, the rewards above the soil can be extraordinary. Step-by-step guide. Here's how old-timers like Mr. Fig might have made their secret. Microbe liquid. Simple, clean, and safe. Don't let the small steps fool you. Each one is part of a process that transforms ordinary kitchen scraps into a powerful, living fertilizer that can dramatically improve your garden's harvest. Follow carefully, and you'll see why patience and care are just as important as the ingredients themselves. Step 1. Prepare a clean container. Start with a clean bucket, jar, or any vessel that can hold your mixture without contaminating it. Cleanliness is key. Residues from soap or harmful bacteria can interfere with the fermentation process. Imagine this container as the nursery where your microbial helpers will grow strong and healthy. Step 2. Add the base ingredients. Next, pour in rice rinse water or plant-based scraps such as banana peels, orange rinds, or apple cores. These scraps are rich in nutrients and natural sugars that the microbes need to thrive. Think of it as setting out a buffet for your microscopic helpers. They'll be feasting and multiplying in the days to come. Step 3. Feed the microbes. Add just 1 tablespoon of molasses or brown sugar per bucket. This small addition is critical. It gives the microbes a concentrated source of energy, helping them multiply faster and produce a liquid full of nutrients for your plants. Remember, a little goes a long way. The goal isn't to create sweetness for taste, but life for your soil. Step 4. Mix and fill with water. Fill the container with clean water, enough to cover all the scraps comfortably, and stir gently. The stirring helps to distribute the sugars and nutrients evenly, giving every microbe a chance to get busy. Keep the mixture mixed but not overly agitated. The microbes prefer a calm, stable environment as they grow. Step 5. Cover and ferment. Cover the container loosely, allowing air to reach the mixture while keeping dust and insects out. Let it sit for 7 to 10 days. During this period, stir daily to keep the microbes active and happy. You'll notice tiny bubbles forming and a faint, earthy smell developing. These are signs that the fermentation is working. Patience here is vital. The longer you let it develop within the safe window, the stronger your microbe liquid becomes. Step 6. Strain and dilute. After the fermentation period, strain the liquid to remove the solids. What remains is a nutrient-rich, microbe-packed liquid ready to nourish your plants. Mix 1 cup of this liquid into a gallon of clean water before applying. This dilution ensures that the concentration is gentle enough not to shock your plants while still delivering a healthy boost. Why it works? At first glance, your garden might look like just soil, water, and sunlight. But beneath the surface, an invisible world is at work, a quiet symphony of life that transforms ordinary dirt into a thriving ecosystem. The secret behind why microbe liquid works lies in this unseen world. Healthy microbes are nature's little alchemists. They unlock minerals in the soil, breaking down organic matter and turning waste into food your plants can absorb. They take dryness, nutrient depletion, and tired, compacted soil, and slowly, patiently, convert it into abundance. Imagine your garden as a concert hall. Every plant is a performer, but without the choir of microbes supporting them, the music falls flat. These tiny organisms are your garden's quiet choir, singing life back into tired roots, coaxing leaves to grow greener, flowers to bloom brighter, and fruits to swell fuller than ever before. Most of the time, we don't notice them, just as we don't notice the beauty of aging gracefully. We see the wrinkles, the silver hair, the years, and yet the quiet work of time and wisdom has strengthened, nourished, and shaped something remarkable. In the same way, microbes work silently, unseen, but their effect is undeniable. a garden that bursts with life and resilience. The magic happens because microbes are incredibly efficient at what they do. They digest plant scraps, peels, and sugars from your microbe liquid and convert them into nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, the very building blocks of plant health. They even help plants fight off disease by outcompeting harmful organisms in the soil. Essentially, the more you feed these microbes, the more your garden feeds itself. A tomato plant doesn't just grow because you watered it. It grows because millions of microbial helpers are breaking down the soil, releasing nutrients exactly where the roots need them. It's a partnership, your plant and the microbes working together in harmony. But there's more than just science here. There's a lesson in patience, trust, and humility. You can't force microbes to work faster, just like you can't rush wisdom or life experience. You give them the right conditions, food, water, a safe place to grow, and then you step back. Allow nature to do its work and watch the results unfold. The garden teaches us that abundance isn't always about effort or force. Sometimes it's about quiet nurturing, small consistent actions, and faith that what you can't see is still working tirelessly for you. This is why the old gardener's secret works so beautifully. While neighbors invest in chemical shortcuts, he nurtures life at a microscopic level. The reward is a garden that doesn't just survive, it thrives. Leaves glow with health, stems strengthen, and fruits grow so full that they nearly fall from the vine. All because something as simple as fermented kitchen scraps, given to the right tiny helpers, can turn humble soil into a living, breathing garden of abundance. Meet Mrs. Hattie, a 79-year-old gardener from Georgia, whose hands have known soil longer than most of us have known life. For decades, she tended her small backyard plot, always quietly experimenting, observing, and learning from the rhythms of nature. But it wasn't until she discovered her kitchen brew, a simple microbe-rich liquid made from everyday scraps, that her garden transformed completely. She laughs as she recalls the first time she used it. "I thought, what could a little rice water and some fruit peels do?" She says. Within weeks, her tomatoes swelled bigger than she had ever seen. Peppers turned a deeper, richer green, and even her cucumbers seemed to grow with a newfound vigor. But for Mrs. Hattie, the most important part wasn't just the size or color of her produce. It was the feeling of being part of nature's cycle again. The quiet work of the microbes reminded her that life is about patience, observation, and nurturing unseen helpers. It wasn't magic. She says it was understanding, respect, and a little bit of patience paying off in the most beautiful, tangible way. Her story resonates because it's not just about gardening, it's about life. Like her microbe brew, small, consistent actions that respect the natural process can yield remarkable results over time. You don't need expensive fertilizers or complicated machinery. Sometimes the simplest, most overlooked things, like kitchen scraps, hold the key to abundance. Mrs. Hattie's garden teaches us that caring for life at its smallest level can produce the largest rewards. And here's where you come in. What's the one old gardening trick you still swear by? Maybe it's something your grandmother taught you, a method passed down through generations, or a tiny secret that has worked quietly in your own backyard. Share it in the comments. Your wisdom might spark someone else's garden back to life. Just like Mrs. Hattie's kitchen brew inspired her neighbors, your experience could be the spark someone else needs to see their garden bloom like never before. Remember, the joy of gardening isn't just in the harvest, it's in the connection. It's in seeing life grow, understanding the unseen forces that make it possible, and being patient enough to let them do their work. Mrs. Hattie's story is a reminder that the smallest gestures, returning scraps to the soil, stirring a simple microbe liquid, observing and waiting, can create abundance, happiness, and a sense of purpose that goes far beyond the garden gate. So as you care for your plants, think of the microbes quietly at work beneath the surface. Think of Mrs. Hattie smiling over her full tomatoes and green peppers. And remember that gardening isn't just about growing food. It's about growing patience, connection, and a little bit of wonder. Maybe the secret isn't just in the microbes, but in the heart that tends them. Think about it. Those tiny, unseen organisms are powerful, but they only thrive when someone cares enough to nurture them. It's not just about stirring a mixture of rice water, fruit peels, and molasses, it's about patience, attention, and respect for the quiet, often invisible work happening beneath the soil. And when we put our hearts into tending life, life has a remarkable way of returning that care in ways we can see, taste, and feel. Look at a garden that flourishes under gentle hands. Every vibrant leaf, every plump tomato, every bursting pepper is a reflection of consistent care and mindful attention. The microbe liquid is simply a tool, a catalyst, but the true transformation comes from the gardener who watches, waits, and nurtures. Just like Mrs. Hattie, we see that abundance isn't a product of shortcuts or speed. It's a result of steady, loving involvement and the willingness to honor processes we can't always see. This is a lesson that goes far beyond gardening. In life, the things we nurture with patience, relationships, skills, personal growth, often yield the richest rewards. The unseen effort, the quiet consistency, the small gestures that seem insignificant day to day, all build toward outcomes that are larger than ourselves. Gardening with microbes teaches us to appreciate the invisible, the overlooked, and the humble, knowing that these small acts of care eventually bring beauty, flavor, and joy back to us in abundance. And joy is exactly what a thriving garden delivers. It's the smell of freshly tilled soil, the feel of plump fruit in your hand, the colors that brighten your day, and the simple satisfaction of knowing you've contributed to something larger than yourself. Each time you pour your microbe liquid into the soil, you're not just feeding plants, you're feeding a system of life, a chain reaction that rewards patience, attention, and respect for nature. It's a gift that keeps giving, and it starts with your heart. So, as you experiment with your own kitchen brew or any gardening technique, remember that the real secret is not a chemical, a trick, or a tool. It's the care, patience, and love you invest in the process. When we nurture life, whether in soil, in relationships, or in our own growth, life finds its way back to us. It comes in color, in taste, in abundance, and in joy. The harvest isn't just the fruit on the vine. It's the deeper satisfaction of seeing what care, consistency, and heart can truly create. Take a moment to reflect. How can you nurture what's unseen in your garden or in your life so that abundance flows back to you? And then take action, stir, pour, plant, observe, and let nature respond. Because the most powerful growth often starts quietly, with patience, respect, and a willing heart. If this video brought a smile to your face, sparked a new idea for your garden, or reminded you of the joy in simple, quiet acts of care, there's something you can do to keep the good energy growing. Give this video a thumbs up. It's a small click that tells us we're creating content that resonates, inspires, and helps your garden and heart flourish. Every like is more than just a number. It's a signal that you value the time and care that went into sharing this wisdom, and it encourages us to keep bringing practical, engaging, and heartwarming advice your way. Share this video with a friend who loves to grow. Whether they're nurturing a backyard plot, tending a few potted plants, or simply nurturing life in other ways, you never know whose garden or whose heart might be transformed by a tiny tip, a simple trick, or a reminder to work with nature rather than against it. By sharing, you're not just passing along a video, you're passing along hope, inspiration, and practical wisdom that can ripple out into someone else's life, helping them see the magic hidden in the everyday, in kitchen scraps, and in patient care. And don't forget to subscribe to the Evergreen Seniors, where life never stops blooming. Here, we celebrate the beauty of slow, intentional growth, whether it's in gardens, in skills, in relationships, or in ourselves. Each subscription is a commitment to stay curious, stay engaged, and continue learning about the small actions that yield big rewards over time. When you subscribe, you join a community of fellow gardeners, learners, and life lovers who understand that growth is both visible and invisible, practical and emotional, immediate and ongoing. We also encourage you to leave a comment below. Tell us, what's your favorite gardening trick? The one you still swear by after years of trial and error? Or maybe share how you've experimented with your own microbe liquid or simple, natural methods. Your experience might be exactly the spark someone else needs to see their garden or their approach to life in a new light. Engagement doesn't just help the channel, it helps the community. Every comment, every shared story becomes a small seed that grows into connection, learning, and encouragement. Finally, remember this: gardening, like life, thrives on patience, attention, and care. By engaging with this content, liking, sharing, subscribing, or commenting, you're nurturing a cycle of growth that extends far beyond the soil. You're contributing to a community that values slow, steady progress, practical knowledge, and the joy that comes from watching small actions blossom into something remarkable. So take that step today. Click, share, comment, subscribe, and let life, growth, and abundance continue to bloom around you and through you.